Let's talk about Zachariah Branch. So, Zachariah Branch was a prized recruit of the 2023 cycle for Lincoln Riley and Company, one of several five stars that USC had. And I'm sure there are many Oregon fans that will enjoy what appears to me the demise of USC football at the moment. They still have Lincoln Riley, but they lost a defensive line coach, I believe, went to be the head coach at Fresno State. They lost their offensive line coach. They've had 18 players leave the program right now. Things have not been good. Could Oregon benefit from that? Yes, absolutely. Zachariah Branch is a guy that I am interested in. Notice I said interested, not all in. Much like Duce Robinson, I am interested in adding a USC wide receiver, not all in. They also had Keon Ware-Hudson's brother Kobe transfer, but he has officially committed to Penn State. It's a good pickup for the Nittany Lions on the perimeter. He's a good player. So, first thing with Zachariah Branch is the indications have been that he and his brother Zion are a package deal. Zion Branch is a safety. He was a highly coveted four-star recruit as well. Zion Branch played 220 snaps defensively this year. And I would just like to interject really quickly that Max Clare, the tight end transfer from Purdue, looks like he's going elsewhere, and I'm just going to go cry in the corner now because my dream won't come true. But anyway, Zachariah Branch, Zion Branch, yeah. Oregon is reportedly interested in adding Zachariah Branch. I don't think bringing in Zion Branch to the safety room is the end of the world. Maybe you have one of the guys in there transfer out as a result. But Zachariah Branch is the kind of guy that I can see Oregon going after. So he's got 2 years of experience. He played a ton as a true freshman. He actually saw a bigger role in the offense in 2024, but things are just spiraling out of control at USC at the moment. You have a former player in Raleek Brown saying that Zachariah Branch is smart for entering the transfer portal. Just put yourself in that position for a moment. What if a player transferred from Oregon and he was elsewhere for a season, and then another guy transfers, and the first guy goes on Twitter to say, smart move. Feels like a shot at the head coach and the culture of the program, doesn't it? Really, really does. So Oregon could benefit from that because Branch is a really talented player. But that's just how things are going. USC has to make a bunch of transfer portal moves. Oregon only needs to make a handful. So Branch had just over 300 yards on 30 receptions or so in his first season. He had over 40 receptions this year. He had over 500 yards. He only caught one touchdown. He's only caught 3 touchdowns in his career. He's a weapon in the return game, though. This wouldn't be the first time Oregon had brought in a transfer wide receiver from USC. Gary Bryant Jr. is a one-time USC Trojan as well. Another guy whose decision is, we'll see, up in the air, could come back for a 6th season of college football because he had the COVID year when he started, and then he redshirted his final year at USC. So then you have 1 and 2, and then the redshirt, and then 3, and then boom, you can get a 6th year, and that's college football. But hey, we're almost completely out of that era. I don't know if we'll ever get out of the era of the extra COVID year and such, which I think is the right call for the record. But I'm interested in Zachariah Branch because he feels like Evan Stewart to me, not stylistically. His play style is different. He, frankly, kind of reminds me of DeCorian Moore, who I expect to play as a true freshman in 2025. Wouldn't be shocked if he doesn't. Would be a little surprised if he did. But bringing in those sorts of guys, hey, I'm here for it because Evan Stewart spent 2 years at Texas A&M, and there were times where you saw glimpses of that 5-star dynamic playmaker potential, but it just never quite clicked, and the program wasn't run correctly, and the quarterbacks were a revolving door. If I'm Dante Moore, I'd be super down to have DeCorian Moore on one side, Zachariah Branch on the other, and then work in a bunch of other wide receivers for the Ducks, guys like Justice Lowe or Jerion Dickey, Kyler Casper, Jeremiah McClellan, whoever works their way up the depth chart. One of many position group depth chart battles I'm interested to see in the offseason. Wide receiver at or near the top of that particular list. So The package deal thing with his brother, not a deal breaker for me, really at all. You know, Jurion Dickey's on the roster. His brother is on the roster, and I don't think will ever be a major player for Oregon. As for Jurion, we'll see what happens come 2025. But yeah, Zachariah Branch, I'd be interested. I'd be interested. I don't think it's somebody who, if they don't get, I'm going to, curl up in the fetal position as I am with Max Clare, metaphorically. Like I'm kind of joking there, just because I made that prediction, I believe, in my reaction show after the Purdue game earlier this year, where I said, hey, I think Oregon should go get that guy. He hits the portal. It looks like he'll stay in the Big Ten, maybe go to a Michigan and such. But yeah, if Oregon got Zachariah Branch, that'd be a pretty good move. Plus, there's always the jab factor. Just another jab at USC. Because Oregon's been winning a lot of recruiting battles. Oregon's recruiting very well. USC looked like they were going to have a great recruiting class in 2025, and it didn't go as well as Trojan fans were hoping for, per se. But Oregon has not had that problem as they've moved their class into the top 5 overall in 2025. Oregon is sitting at number 3. USC's at 14. It's not like they're bad, but they were looking like they were going to bring in the first major defensive haul that they've kind of been waiting for, and then a bunch of those guys decommitted. So it'd certainly be another jab in USC's direction. It's their fault Oregon's in the Big Ten in the first place, but hey, so far so good. Oregon wins the league in its first season. So then, question here came in from Barry, which I think is a valid one. Hey, Spencer, just a quick idea to address on the pod in light of these 2 portal studs committing to Oregon. How should/could one respond to other fan bases trashing the Ducks for Uncle Phil's money? 1, is it confirmed that Phil Knight is offering shoe deals for kids? Feels like a rumor being spread by people who can't understand why else a kid might want to play for the Ducks. 2, should we feel bad for some reason that our alumni are, quote, buying a trophy? I'll go to the first one first on the shoe deal. Can't confirm that. I've heard the same rumors that you have. Guess what? The more important answer is to question number 2 that you sent in there. Is Oregon doing anything illegal? Are they breaking rules? Because that was the problem before, right? The SEC's paying kids under the table. Well, now you can do it above board. So Oregon's got an alumni network, and yes, a very famous, well-known booster that wants the program to succeed. I'm supposed to pretend like that's a bad thing? That you have a program that people care about? That you've got fans that are that you've got one fan in particular, yes, who wants Oregon to win a national championship? I'm supposed to pretend like that's bad when it's not even illegal anymore? I don't even think it was bad to give players money when it was illegal. Oh, the SEC's been paying kids for years. Yeah, guess what? They care. That's what it showcases, is that a particular organization, in this case, a university, cares about its athletics. And you know what? I'm never going to apologize for that. You shouldn't either. Nobody should have to. So that's the first thing, is what's the appropriate level of financial commitment that doesn't make you uncomfortable? That'd be the first response. Second response, why are you only mad at Oregon? Because Phil Knight's an easy boogeyman, first of all. And second of all, because Oregon does things that annoy people, like put a giant floating duck in the river at Big Ten Media Days in July. Yeah, people have been annoyed at that stuff for a very long time. But when people are directing their ire at Oregon, it is usually out of jealousy or frustration. It is never a coherently gathered point that arrives at Oregon is the worst for all of this. Why are you mad? Whoever you're arguing with, whatever fan base he or she's from, that person probably has a reason to be annoyed that it's Oregon doing it. Because remember, who had all the buzz about the biggest NIL roster and budget in all of college football? That was Ohio State. Why aren't you mad at Ohio State? Why aren't you annoyed? Because they don't have Phil Knight. That's just the way it goes. So don't apologize for having an institution that you are rooting for that gives a rip and that wants them to win. Because let me tell you, as a Mariners fan, that's an organization with people at the top and people that have money and could invest in the team, and they actively choose not to. So yeah, I'm all in on Oregon doing whatever it takes. Or you're just buying a national championship. Right, because the other ones were free. Yeah, they didn't cost anything. Players didn't get any money. It's like Dan Lanning quipped back at Kirby Smart. And Kirby said, well, I want some of the NIL they have up there. And Lanning goes, yeah, amazing. Kirby brought in the #1 recruiting class. No NIL. $0. I added the $0 part. But the point stands that they wish they had what Oregon has. Well, you just have Phil. Yeah, guess what? You wish you had a Phil Knight too. That's just the way it goes.